What followed was a government media blitz to counter the opposition's YouTube frenzy. Documentaries showing knife-wielding and ferocious demonstrators. The stockpile of Molotov cocktails in the tent city at the roundabout. A grainy video even claimed to show a demonstrator putting on makeup to fake an injury. Then there was this video purporting to show demonstrators running over one of several policemen killed in the clashes.
The agenda was not a peaceful gathering from day one. Maybe there were people who believed this is going to be peaceful, but the leaders had other plans. Now, policemen were driven over Trevor. We had films of a policeman who had his fingers cut because he was driven over. Why would you attack a policeman? A policeman says, leave this place, you simply leave it.
We've been told it's forbidden to film any security presence on these streets. It's hard to avoid. We're on our way to what should be a refuge in Bahrain, a safe and helpful place for anyone sick or injured, regardless of the cause. But the scale of the security at Salmania Hospital indicates something's not right. Armoured vehicles cover every entrance, and it seems some unremarkable parts of the hospital are no-go zones.
Excuse me, sir. I told you don't take any. Excuse me, sir. This is the second warning. No, your camera on still. This is the second warning. I'm so sorry to say that for you. Put it off.
Inside, masked and heavily armed soldiers roam the corridors. They have tight control of a place that became a central feature of the power struggle here. There were nights of utter chaos. As the injured arrived with supporters and family in tow, medical staff could barely cope with the sheer number of casualties. One doctor, it seems, revealed a little too much.
No, but definitely a live ammunition, because the femur, the bone is completely shattered.
For his candid diagnosis, exposing the government's use of live rounds, orthopaedic surgeon Bassem Diaf was arrested. His family has not heard of him since. 6 other doctors are in prison for apparently sympathising with protesters. The government claimed the hospital had become a hotbed of dissent, and the doctors abused and even refused to treat injured police.
A doctor who tells a poor man, you will not be treated, you have walked into this place alive, but you will leave dead, should be sitting in his house. He should not just lose his license. He should be severely punished, and he should get what he deserves. I think more people should be arrested.
At the hospital?
Yes, yes.
I'd been told by opposition activists that there'd been a military takeover of the hospital and that injured protesters were being held prisoner. I'd also seen a video claimed to show a nurse being beaten by police as their purge continued. And another of a Sunni gang attacking nurses. The government says we've been grossly misinformed about what's been happening in this hospital in the last few weeks, so they've agreed to let us in to see for ourselves. They've told us we can speak to doctors, to staff, to patients, really anyone about the events of the last few weeks. But I was allowed into only 2 wards to see patients who weren't caught in the clashes. A health department official told me all was calm again. But are security forces looking for people inside this hospital?
I have no idea if they are. They could be looking in the whole country.
So, Doctor, what's happened to those doctors who supported the opposition movement?
Some of them working, some of them I think maybe integrated by the security for what they've done.
So basically they have cleansed the Salmania hospital of any person who had any passion or any connection with the previous, movement for freedom. We saw like about 6 or 7 people.
Farida Ghulam is one of few opposition figures prepared to show her face for our camera. She's Sunni and from a wealthy family, not the usual background of an agitator. Critics of the Bahrain royal family are now being arrested one by one. It's the middle of the night when the police come calling.
Altogether there were 45, they were all masked. When you look at them from upstairs, you feel like it's a bunch of thugs. And
her husband, opposition leader Ibrahim Sharif, was led away to prison. There's been one telephone call of just a few seconds. At least she knows he's alive.
It was very tense. They were screaming all the time, trying to paralyze you, not answering you. It was, I think they were deliberately doing that to scare you and not give you the chance to think or act properly.
The protest movement broken and dispersed, the Bahraini royal family is now obliterating all of its opponents once and for all. In Shiite villages, internal security forces sweep through night and day, terrorising and taking men away to an uncertain fate. They linger for no apparent reason, but to menace and destroy property at random. Neighbours who cower in fear can still manage to record the event to feed to the outside world. This village leader asked us to obscure his identity and change his voice.
If they want to get some specific people, they come at night, say 3, 4 o'clock, and then they know the people, their houses, and then they attack their houses with a bigger group. And then they walk around them, around the whole area. Whenever they capture anybody, they just knock him down, hit him badly by their shoes and their hands, and then they try to steal their monies.
The security forces have free rein here. They target and intimidate mainly the young men of the village. Anyone identified in our story is very likely to be jailed, but filming this man's back was enough to tell his story. He'd been hit with a shotgun blast. It's a painful and disfiguring wound.
He's sitting opposite my home. He's sitting outside, and they have a policeman coming, and he's shooting at. He's sitting outside at home. That's it.
Okay. So they can both pull up their shirts and I'll move over. I was ushered to a house to meet other young men. They too had been shot in the back. It's dangerous to be seen in a group anywhere in this neighbourhood. The injuries should have been treated in hospital, but they know that's where they can be found. Jafar Adam doesn't mind if we show his face. He says the police know it anyway. He's one of the walking wounded. During a demonstration, a soldier's bullet passed right through his hip, incredibly missing the bone. But the doctors advised him to leave the hospital before the police arrived. The security forces sweep through hospitals every day, he told me. They arrest demonstrators who are patients and take them away to military hospitals or prison. Outside, his friends guard him. They're all on the run and never spend more than 2 days in the one place. Their only crime, they say, is having turned up at the roundabout to protest.
They're using every single means possible to kill us, target us, and stop us from speaking. But, I mean, are you going to kill the whole people?
There was another salvo in the information war. Authorities released this video purporting to show protesters rounding up foreign workers. The Bahraini security forces have large numbers of Pakistanis and Bangladeshis drafted into the police and army. The government claims protesters have been storming communities of foreigners to kidnap and beat suspected police and soldiers.
They keep on saying that when they were attacked, the protesters were telling them, "Who is the policeman among you? If you tell us who the policeman is, we will not touch you."
In the last day or so, I've been approached by several people discreetly telling me of a purge that's happening in private companies here. Lists have been drawn up and anyone even suspected of involvement in the opposition movement is sacked. In one telecommunications company, 80 staff were shed, all for what they apparently believed in.
Everybody's terrorized in his workplace. When it will be my turn. Many of them, their salaries were cut off. They were not given their salaries. And they are summoned to investigations. So this is what's going on. And everybody is waiting for his turn.
Look, it's our last day here, and as you know, we still don't have a minister lined up. During my time in Bahrain, I made persistent approaches through government media minders to interview officials on camera. Since I've been here, I've made bids for the Crown Prince and the Foreign Minister, the Justice Minister, the Culture Minister, and Prince Nasser, and you won't give me anyone. It's a problem.
Here, of course, this is the studio where I film my program, but other programs are filmed here too.
In the end, Adaya Ahmed gave me her government's perspective. I was told everyone at Bahrain TV was an official anyway.
I'm a loyalist. Yes, I'm proud to be a loyalist. I believe in my system, Trevor. We want reform. We want a better standard of living. We want better opportunities. We want better homes. But we want our system.
You're with the ruling family or you're against it. To them, it's about them keeping their chair, keeping their monarchy, keeping their place. They're controlling every single aspect of life. And basically, what they're saying is, you breathe because I let you breathe.
These people are relatively well off, but when it comes to rights and opportunities, this is still a land of haves and have-nots. Bahrain and its big Sunni brother, Saudi Arabia, don't fancy the idea of allowing Shiites too much of a foothold, not with Iran just across the Gulf. And that other great ally, the United States, has its Fifth Fleet based here. So while the Americans have been front and centre protecting opponents of the Libyan regime, there'll be no bailout for the rebels of Bahrain. Swept off the street and banished, they'll just move underground to prepare for yet another day in the sun.